Drink number 8.
Yes, moving right along.
This drink is named after one of the most famous horses in history. He won 20...
Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed was not from Kentucky. He was from California. Pretty sure.
You just said one of the most of the famous sources.
7. So anyway. So this drink is named after one of the most famous thoroughbred horses in history, Man o' War. So number 8, Man o' War.
Cookies taste delicious, and anything that's not bourbon right now tastes delicious. Aren't you gonna take one of these?
Sure.
Are we going to the St. Pete Yacht Club for drinks later?
7. I'm not gonna waste my bourbon if you're not gonna enjoy it.
Well, that we could have avoided the entire show, frankly.
It's Bourbon Heritage Month. Give me some facts on bourbon. I saw you reading about it.
90 to 95% of it comes from Kentucky, but it doesn't have to come from Kentucky. However, to have Kentucky bourbon on the label, it has to come from Kentucky, which is pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, you would think.
That being said, as a bourbon drinker, word to the wise, a lot of small batch bourbons and craft bourbons are actually just bourbons that come from some giant plant in Indiana that have been flavored somewhere else. So I recommend do your research, make sure you're getting real bourbon and not just something made in the giant. I mean, some of it's actually really good, but at the same time, you might think you have a really cool bourbon and it's just really part of this plant in Indiana, which kind of sucks. All right, moving right along. So we've added our bourbon.
She just insulted Indiana.
What's a Hoosier? What's a
Who's your daddy?
All right, so triple second bourbon. Now we're gonna add some sweet vermouth, not dry, sweet. 1/4 ounce, 1/4 ounce of lemon juice. Yeah.
Man o' War. Isn't there like a stingray or a shark, or isn't there some sea creature that's also considered a man o' War?
Yeah, it's the Man o' War jellyfish.
Oh, it's a jellyfish.
And it's the one where it will, the tentacles like pop off. They live in South Florida and they pop off and then they go into the Gulf Stream. And so you're like swimming in South Carolina. You're like, yay, I can't get stung by a jellyfish. And then you're like, oh God, I'm dying. It's painful.
As
Man o'
this
War.
drink will be.
It's gonna be delicious.
Oh, it's done?
What I love is I'm just making these without tasting them. It's just like, here you go. Have fun.
Yeah.
As I drink more bourbon, the focus may get clearer.
Okay, drink your Man o' War.
No, I don't like that at all. At all. No, that's no.
Bring it here. Yeah, that one's, we're good. We're gonna move on to 9 and 10. I'll drink these. You're not getting back to your wine. September is Bourbon Heritage Month. We're drinking bourbon tonight, y'all. So pour yourself a drink. Let's get started.